breathable atmospheres may be more common in the universe than we first thought. This is on The Conversation by Louis Alcott, PhD researcher, Earth Sciences, University of Leeds, and Benjamin Mills, Associate Professor, Biochemistry, Modeling, University of Leeds as well. The existence of habitable alien worlds has been a mainstay of popular culture for more than a century. In the 19th century, astronomers believed that Martians might be using canal-based transport links to traverse the red planet. And now, despite living in an age when scientists can study planets light years from our own solar system, most new research continues to diminish the chances of finding other worlds on which humans could live. The biggest stumbling block may be oxygen. Human settlers would need a high oxygen atmosphere in which to breathe. So how are we so lucky to evolve on a planet with plenty of oxygen? The history of Earth's oceans and atmosphere suggests that the rise to present-day levels of O2 was pretty difficult. The current consensus is that Earth underwent a three-step rise in atmospheric and oceanic oxygen levels, the first being called the Oxygen Great Oxidation Event, around 2.5 billion years ago. After that came the Neoproterozoic Oxygenation Event around 800 million years ago. And then finally the Paleozoic Oxygenation Event about 400 million years ago, when oxygen levels on Earth reached their modern peak of 21%. What happened during these three periods to increase oxygen levels is a matter for debate. One idea is that new organisms bioengineered the planet, restructuring the atmosphere and oceans through either their metabolisms or their lifestyles. For example, the rise of land plants roughly 400 million years ago could have increased oxygen in the atmosphere through land-based photosynthesis, taking over from photosynthetic bacteria in the ocean, which have been the main oxygen producers for most of Earth's history. Alternatively, plate tectonic changes or gigantic volcanic eruptions have also been linked to the Earth's oxygenation events. This event-based history of how oxygen came to be so plentiful on Earth implies that we're very fortunate to be living on a high oxygen world. If one volcanic eruption had not happened or a certain type of organism had not evolved, then oxygen might have stalled at low levels. But our latest research suggests that it's not the case. We created a computer model of the Earth's carbon, oxygen, and phosphorus cycles and found that the oxygen transition can be explained by the inherent dynamics of our planet and likely did not require any miraculous events. Phosphorus, the missing link. One thing we think is missing from theories about Earth's oxygenation is phosphorus. This nutrient is very important for photosynthetic bacteria and algae in the ocean. How much marine phosphorus there is will ultimately control how much oxygen is produced on Earth. This is still true today and has been so since the evolution of photosynthetic microbes some 3 billion years ago. Photosynthesis and the ocean depends on phosphorus, but high phosphate levels also drive consumption of oxygen in the deep ocean through the process called eutrophication. When photosynthetic microbes die, they decompose, which consumes oxygen from the water. As oxygen level falls, sediment tends to release even more phosphorus. This feedback loop rapidly removes oxygen. This meant that oxygen levels in the oceans were able to change rapidly, but they were buffered over long time scales by another process involving the Earth's mantle. Throughout Earth's history, volcanic activity has released gases that react with and remove oxygen from the atmosphere. These gas fluxes have subsided over time due to Earth's mantle cooling, and our computer model suggests a slow reduction along with the initial evolution of photosynthetic life was all that was necessary to produce a series of step change increases in oxygen levels. These step increases bear a clear resemblance to the three-step rise in oxygen that has occurred throughout Earth's history. The model also supports our current understanding of ocean oxygenation, which appears to have involved numerous cycles of oxygenation and deoxygenation before the oceans became resiliently oxygenated as they are today. What's really exciting about all of this is that the oxygenation pattern can be created without the need for difficult and complex evolutionary leaps forward or circumstantial catastrophic volcanic or tectonic events. So it appears that Earth's oxygenation may have been inescapable once photosynthesis had evolved, and the chances of high oxygen worlds existing elsewhere could be much higher. Now, unfortunately, okay, this is the conversation article, but they have no mention of diatoms. And I know that diatoms are needed because they create half our oxygen. If we take 2 breaths, 1 breath is from the oxygen that has been given to us, created for us by the diatoms. That's something else we have to get into. There's a lot of stuff, and a lot of these diatoms come from volcanic eruptions, one of them being Yellowstone. There's such a thing called Yellowstone diatoms. And I have to get into that because that's very interesting, how billions of tons of diatoms came out from Yellowstone eruptions. Anyway, that's another thing I have to get to make another interesting video on that. This is on the conversation. I'll leave a link below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.